Hello indie game fans! It may be the final month of the year, but cool new indie games continue to be in development, so here's a selection of neat trailers to check out. Let's begin with the awesome pixel art title Sons of Valhalla, which to be honest, was a large part as to why I wanted to make this video. It's a side-scrolling management game similar to Kingdom, but of course has a Norse or Viking theme. Vibrant pixel art which I love, and this is just 10 upon 10 better than AC Valhalla. I have to give a very special mention to Luna's Fishing Garden, coming to us from Cold Wild Games, whose most recent entry is Merchant of the Skies. It's a cozy fishing and planting game which looks relaxing, and I do feel like I have a special bond with this Latvian indie developer since they started their journey around the time that I started this channel, so happy to go from strength to strength with them. This video is brought to you by Core, a new free platform that may be of interest to players and aspiring developers alike. For players, it's a multiverse of free experiences to try, with a social hub and of course, snazzy player customization options, and in many ways, these do capture that indie spirit. For developers, Core allows you to build and publish games, no coding knowledge required, with a library of music, sound and art assets at your fingertips, available on the platform for free. There's also the flexibility of opt-in complexity with custom in-game logic, and you can even remix content from other creators, and is perhaps similar to Dreams in some ways. Currently, the Core Creators Payout Pilot Program allows creators to make money with their games, and there are plans to allow creators to monetize in many ways on the platform, and may be a great way of getting your feet wet if you're interested in game development. If you're at all curious, do check it out via the link below, or just go to coregames.com to find out more. Just did a video on 2D Zelda-like games, but Airoheart did miss out on that, launching on Kickstarter a couple of days after, so I hope I'm making up for it here. Evidently, this is a very Zelda-inspired action-adventure title, with dungeons, combat, puzzles, exploration, towns, and so on, with a wonderfully nostalgic 16-bit pixel art style which, as you know, I'm a big fan of. However, if the opening tune of this trailer sounded just a little bit familiar, this also aims to pay tribute to the emotional storytelling of the Final Fantasy series as well, so perhaps it's a little bit more ambitious than the simple dungeon structure of the genre. About 20% funded as of recording with plenty of time, so do give this a look and support if it feels right. Super Gear Quest was released back in May this year, and while some of you did remark that it looked really similar to Cave Story, the developer did reach out to me to say that the graphics have been revamped, which is seen in this trailer. It's a Metroidvania title which is my favourite genre, so I'm always happy to give these a look, where you play as an android who awakens from a deep slumber, given the task of stopping the end of the world. A virus has attacked his systems while he was asleep, giving the rationale as to why the abilities were initially locked in this game, and I do love it when there are in-game justifications for gameplay mechanics. I'm always interested in first-person shooters which change things up, from simply blasting aliens, demons, zombies or dinosaurs, and one such game is Fashion Police Squad, where you fight against fashion crime using attire-enhancing weaponry. it does look retro as well with the enemy sprites and weapons, but an FPS where you don't just kill everything seems pretty nice, but we'll see how challenging it gets or if it does anything interesting beyond the simple retro shooter. A fantastic looking action-adventure RPG is Gods Will Fall, where you play as the 8 remaining Celtic warriors who travel to the edge of the realm to attack and dethrone gods. It's a story of resistance, of fighting against being subjugated to the will of the gods, taking out hellish monsters and horrific minions on your way to them. While there are 8 characters, you only control one at a time, so I'm curious about the structure, but it looks great, so I'm in. An interesting retro FPS is the oddly named G-String, which I happened to miss in October, where apparently this developer spent 13 years making this Source Engine game and seems to be quite the hidden gem. This is also a cyberpunk title like the games in yesterday's video, where you play as a young Korean girl in a biosuit finding a way to survive in this world. There's telekinetic and pyrokinetic abilities, night vision and so on, and seems old school in all the right ways, almost like the Half-Life game. It's certainly nostalgic and goes for that early 90s look, which I know can be hit or miss, but may be of interest to you. A neat looking twin stick shooter is AK-xolotl, once again using some wonderful pixel art and looking a little like Enter the Gungeon. It's not a roguelite, but looks challenging and could be pretty neat for 2021. The action-adventure title Retro Machina got an extended gameplay trailer where you play as a little clank or girl-looking robot, unraveling the mystery of a long-forgotten world. The art style is interesting, a little bit machinarium, with what seems to be an interesting world to explore. There's combat and action sequences along with the puzzles and exploration, so it should be another good entry for early next year. Of course, Freja and the False Prophecy is of interest to me, since this is a hand-drawn Metroidvania title, once again tapping on Norse mythology, perhaps looking towards Guacamelee for some inspiration. play as a shield maiden plagued by tragedy as she traverses through the 9 realms in search of answers, trying to break the chains that bind you to the gods. I'll admit that the art style is great despite my preference for pixel art, and this looks like it has potential, so wishing them all the best for development.
So many long years we have spent as bottom feeders. But now that the king is dead, the city is wide open. And you can lead us to take the primacy we have always deserved. The other creeps, though, are neither blind nor stupid. They'll be making their own moves.
A very interesting upcoming title is Domains of Dusk, where you control either a human or supernatural faction, so hunters, vampires, werewolves and such, and battle for dominance and control over a modern urban city. It's very Underworld, Queen of the Damned, or, God forbid, Twilight to some extent, with each faction promising to have some unique facets. There's also online multiplayer, which adds another wrinkle with some awesome art as well.
Will be your decisions to make, and I will execute your orders with complete dedication. But fail our cause and family, and I will not hesitate to see you replaced. Take the city.
Just did a Souls-like games video, so it'll take some time before I go back to that topic, but I could not wait to show off Perennial Order, so here it is. It's a one-hit death boss rush title, so perhaps some influence from Titan Souls, but I do believe that this one-hit death applies to the player character only. It has an awesome grimdark atmosphere and horrific eldritch bosses, so I cannot wait to dive in. The no-brainer pick of this video is Fraymakers, another indie platform fighter currently seeking funding on Kickstarter, but they don't need the help since they are already 300% funded. There is, however, a significant pedigree for this developer, who made one of the most popular Smash Bros. Fan games, Super Smash Flash 2, so it's no wonder that people are hyped about this. It kicked off the campaign with playable characters coming from Downwell, Rivals of Aether, Slap City, Slay the Spire, Octodad and Blit Trick Runner, and as Discord member Pepperado mentioned, this is a very similar roster to another neat indie platform fighter, Indie Pogo, from 4 years ago. While that game tried to do something a little different by having characters constantly jump, Fraymakers is identifiable as a Smash Bros game, and crossover titles like this are a great way for indie games to get more exposure and recognition. The trailer shows off assist characters from other titles like Wondersong, Chicory, VVVVVV, Newgrounds, Renine, Getting Over It, Apotheon and more, so as a fan of indie games, I have to check this out, taking the #1 spot. To see more of the big picture, check out these awesome videos and I will see you after the jump.